What's up, everybody? This is, I've been to South Dakota before, but I just drove through it, and because it's really flat here, and I like the mountains. But this is such a cool opportunity. I've got to do a lot of cool things in my life, and it's all revolved around snowmobiling. And one of them is I get to visit dealerships all over the world, and it means a lot to me to get an invite to come here. And I tried to make it last year, and it didn't work out, but it didn't work out for a reason, because I wanted to talk about the new sled and not the old sled. So that's why I'm here this year. So to say something about this particular dealership and the staff that's here, I got to spend all day today here meeting everybody who makes this world-class facility go round. And you guys might get a little spoiled and not exactly know how good you have it here. I've been to a lot of dealerships that, they have the front and they have the money to make it look like this, but they don't have the team to make it run as effectively as this. So Steve and you guys, you do a great job, and I'll be back for sure. This is it's been a lot of fun, and it's great to see all of you out here, and it's pretty awesome to see all the customers who have come down to my place in Colorado and gotten stuck with me in the trees. And for those of you who haven't, you'll have to. It's an eye opener, and it'll change the way you look at snowmobiling forever. So what I'm here to do is we're going to talk about the new Axis, but first I'm going to take a quick little poll. How many out there ride Polaris's? Show of hands. How many people ride Polaris's? All right. Guys like to see the top of the mountain. I see that. Okay. How many Arctic Cat riders do we have in here? Okay, a few. All right. You guys like the heavy machines. It's all right. That's okay. They're nice. How many Skidoo riders? Okay. So we got a lot of trail riders here. I didn't think we were going to have that many. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. He's bigger than me. I'm just kidding. And then how many Yamaha people? One? Did you do that just trail rider? Okay, that's right. They are a good trail sled. So all joking aside, guys, what's so cool about this industry is that all the manufacturers, they have been forced to make good product. And so whether you buy a Polaris, a Skidoo, an Arctic Cat, and what's that other brand, that blue one? Yamaha, you're going to get a good experience. And really what it comes down to is which manufacturer makes the best snowmobile for you, and what dealer is going to be able to give you that service that you're paying for, So for me and the riding I like to do, I like very technical mountain riding, as you guys mostly have seen. And that's, I've gotten the question 4 times tonight, and I get one every week. Why did you switch from Arctic Cat? Well, that was like 7 years ago, but I'll tell you the story anyway. I switched from Arctic Cat because I wanted to be more a part of a team. And I spend more days on the snow than anybody in the world. I ride every day, and I ride hard every day. And I felt I could give a lot of feedback to the company, the engineers, and the marketing side of things. And Arctic Cat just didn't really want to be there for me on that deal. So I went to Polaris, and I said, I want to ride your product, and I want to help to make it better. And would you guys accept me as the team? And fast forward 7 years later, and we have the most capable, lightest snowmobile on the planet in the new Axis. So I'm going to go over a couple things on this and tell you why it's so cool. What's really neat? Probably one of the coolest things about my job is that I've been riding this sled for 2 years now. I got to ride the very first hand-built Axis. And the funny thing about it, I don't tell a lot of people this story, I wrecked it. And I wrecked it bad. And it was like, there were no parts. The look on, you'll see this video that they're playing here, the lead engineer his name is Marty Sampson, and he's a bald dude, and I've never seen someone so red in my life, like red like that snowmobile red. And I was like, well, I just lost my job right then and there, you know. And it ended up being okay. We learned some stuff from it. But the point of it is, you know, I was on a trip with the engineers on the first prototype Axis, giving them my feedback and making a product for the rider. And it's just awesome. So it's been pretty neat to see the evolution of what this machine started with and where it is now. So I had a conversation with a good old boy here just a second ago. He asked me, how's the new sled? And I said, well, it's awesome. It's, you know, a completely brand new snowmobile, new chassis, new motor, new track, new everything. And he's like, huh, I didn't realize it was all new. And so it is a brand new sled from the ground up. Completely new motor, completely new chassis, new tracks, options that we've never had before. So so let's start with the biggest one, okay? I think one of the biggest things that why they've chosen, let's just say the Skidoo, okay? The Skidoo has a great motor. It's strong, it's reliable, and it builds good horsepower. And so, you know, for us in the Pro chassis, you know, my trade-off was, well, we're a little light on horsepower, but we're 40 pounds lighter. So, you know, I was going to take that 40 pounds and the different type of handling for the technical terrain for like what I like to do. Well, now I don't have that compromise anymore. The new Axis motor is ridiculously strong. Down in Chile, I was testing the production unit down there this year. For those of you who do or don't know about clutching, I'm going to just tell you a little something. Our Pro RMKs, our last year's sled, would pull 62 gram weights. Okay, that might not mean much to you, but the more weight you can pull, the more power you have. Okay, our Axises were pulling 66 gram weights. Just to give you a reference, my turbos in Colorado pull 68 gram weights. So the power is way better on the new sled. So now not only do we have the power, but we also have the lightweightness too. So, and then the other thing too is reliability. Polaris has been, you know, we've gotten a little bit of a black eye for reliability in the past. And, you know, I'll say, because I've been riding this for 2 years, the reliability is where it is at where it should have been the previous years. And I was telling this to one of the guys today. I've got 2,000 miles on an Axis sitting at my house, and on a Pro, after the first 500 miles, you'd lose a couple hundred RPM. It's just what it did. My Axis runs the exact same RPM from day one to 2,000 miles, and I haven't had that with Polaris. So I'm excited for the future, you know, and you know, Polaris they're a company making a product that the consumer wants. So the motor is a really good thing, guys. Electronically controlled power valves, electronically controlled oil pump, all of these things make for this sled to be really responsive and rippy. The lightweight crank in this motor not only makes the motor responsive, but it also makes the chassis handle incredibly light feeling. So for those of you guys who love your Pro RMK and you're like, man, how can it get any better or lighter? This sled feels 30 pounds lighter than a Pro. And it does that because less rotating weight. The engineers did a really good job of looking at not only stationary weight, but rotating mass. Just a little tidbit of information. 1 pound of rotating weight equals 7 pounds of stationary weight. That's what it feels like. The crank in this motor is 2.5 pounds lighter. So that gives you, that is the main reason this sled feels so much lighter. So let's go to the next big one. The next big one is the chassis. Okay, so Polaris saw this when they first came out and tested the raised chassis. They actually had a couple different chassis. They had one they called the High Rise. I mean, this thing looked like a monster truck sticking out of the snow. You can actually go too tall, we found out. this sled is 1 3/8 higher raised chassis than a Pro. What that does is it does a few things. One is it gets the rider's weight higher on the machine while keeping the center of gravity in the same position. So what that does is that gives you more mechanical advantage on moving the sled. So so you can picture, if you use the same amount of effort to make a turn on your Pro as you do on an Axis, you're going to fall right on your head because it takes that much less effort to make the sled move. Number two things that it does is when we got the chassis out of the snow, you instantly felt how the sled would react because it's not dragging in the snow. That was probably one of the things that shocked me the most, was how much easier it was to ride because you're just not plowing around through the snow. So that was a really big one. And then the third one, and the one that has really blown me away and has taken my riding to another level, is with the running boards being higher, the body panels being narrower, what it allows me to do is it allows me to side hill some ridiculously steep slopes in control because the track is still staying in the snow. What happens on a Pro, or I'll use the Skidoo as a little bit of an example here too. The Skidoo initiates a turn really well, and once you got in your side hill, you're going along. The panels being wider, actually, we call it paneling out. You pull your sled over on a side hill, it hits the belly pan, and it pulls the track out of the ground, and it starts to wash out. On a Pro, you could make it do that too, and it was just on a little steeper slope. I think you'd have to be side hilling Mount Everest to do that on an Axis. It won't slide out. You guys have seen in our videos, like maybe the school videos, we talk about doing an elevator where you get on the side of the snowmobile and you kind of slide it down. You can't really do that on an Axis because you can't get the track to lift out of the snow. That's how steep of a side hill you can do and be in control. So that's really cool. So those are some of the key features of the chassis. Another big one is the track. The Polaris, they have been running the 2.4 track for a lot of years, and they didn't want to sacrifice any deep snow capability because those are the days you want your sled to run and be the best. Those big 3-foot, 4-foot powder days, that's when you want your sled to perform. So the new Series 2.6 track and the available 3-inch track, it was really neat. They came up with a new process to make the track lighter in manufacturing. So the tracks are super light. They're even lighter than the previous track, and with a deeper lug. So the tracks work really well. My personal favorite track is the 2.6-inch track because I love the belt drive. The belt drive is durable, it's lightweight, it's less rotating mass, it allows the sled to get up on the snow faster. So I run the 2.6 for you guys who just ride that on that super deep day and want the 3-inch. The 3-inch is another good option there as well. So I would say those are the three biggest improvements over the Pro, is obviously the chassis, the motor, and the track. Just the handling characteristics of the sled is really, really good. So that's kind of an overview of the sled. What I'd like to do is, we got a lot of good, passionate snowmobilers out here. You guys have come up to me and asked me a bunch of questions. I'd like to answer everybody's questions here. With a show of hand, any of you guys have any questions for me, either about the sled or personally, or about Burandt's Backcountry Adventure, riding in Chile, Burandt TV? This is a great way for everyone to kind of hear a question, and I'm here to answer some stuff. So anybody got any questions? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. No questions. Yeah. Cool. So that's a good question. So the question was, how do I get hooked up to go ride with you, and so I can go learn? Well, it's pretty cool. So I started Burandt's Backcountry Adventure in 2007 because I was tired of doing backflips at X Games and risking my life. And I have, you know, my true passion is backcountry riding. So coming to ride with me is it's a pretty cool eye-opening experience. It'll change how you look at terrain, and it revitalizes the sport for a lot of people. Because, you know, I'm not this big crazy dude. I'm a 160-pound guy that can throw around a sled because I'm telling the sled what to do instead of the sled telling me what it's going to do. Okay, so to answer your question, how do you get a hold of me? It's really easy. It's chrisburandt.com. We have a website that basically goes through the different packages that we have. We cater to all skill levels, and that's the cool part. Is we take people out who have never been to the mountains, and we take people out who have ridden the mountains all their life and really just want to get to that next step. And then, you know, we offer 3 different locations now too. Our base camp is in Colorado. We also do tours down up in Canada in December and April, which is a really cool facility. And then we also do tours down in South America in the summer. South America is probably one of the coolest things I've ever got to do on a snowmobile. And to go riding snowmobiles in August, it doesn't get much better than that. So that's how you can come get a hold of me. You can bring your own sled, or you can rent one of our sleds. And then we have lodging, meals, turnkey operation there. It's a lot of fun. Good question. Thanks. What else? Does anyone, let's play a game. Anyone know how many bones I've broke? Anybody got a guess? How many? How many bones do you think I've broke? You've been here before. 0 is the word. You know, I got to do some gnarly things back in the day, you know, doing freestyle and like freestyle shows in Russia and X Games and all this stuff. And I'm so glad I survived that part of my life. And now I get to go ride backcountry. So it's a lot of fun. What questions do you guys have? Something. That's a good question. He asked, how's the riding in Chile compared to up in North America? Chile was really unique. So Chile is, you can base it a lot like the United States. So northern Chile had really high elevation stuff, like really high, like 15,000 foot peaks, high alpine riding. And then where we're located, where our facility is we're down in southern Chile, basically in between Santiago and Patagonia. And we're at a lower elevation. It's more coastal snow with some crazy trees. They look like palm trees that you're riding in. And the snow is a little more wet, but with a lot more traction and a lot more power. So Chile, I would compare it to more like Washington, Oregon type snow at a lower elevation. So sleds rip, you can actually breathe down there. The food is amazing, the people are amazing, and it's just one of those once in a lifetime experiences. Thanks for the question.
What's your favorite riding place?
What's my favorite riding place? This is a tough one. I think my favorite riding place, I don't have one. And the reason I don't have one is because anytime you have mountains, snow, and trees, you can make the riding as hard as you want. And I love the snow quality of Colorado, it being so dry. I love how the trees are spaced in Idaho. Russia was a lot of fun. Russia was crazy. That was a whole nother adventure in my life. That the travel getting there was insane, but once I got there, the riding was great. So I like it all. I really do. I mean, I think all of us as snowmobilers, we have our little favorite honey holes, but you know, in the end, you just want to go ride something that has some deep snow and trees and mountains, right? I mean, good question, Steve.
What do you think that most of your customers take away after riding with you? What do you teach them all? What do you see what they lack?
That's a good one, Chris. So the question was, for the people who come and ride with me at Burandt's Backcountry Adventure, what's the number one thing they take away? So here's my favorite group to get. My favorite group to get is when we do the phone call and I ask them, okay guys, so what's our skill level? Oh, we ride the trees. Never ride the trail. All I do is tree riding, and I just want to see where I'm at. Okay, cool. And you can side hill on the right hand side. Oh yeah, side hill on the right, no problem. And you ride the trees. Oh yeah, trees all the time. Okay. So the first 12 minutes of the ride, I go take them into my definition of the trees. And, you know, I look back and all of a sudden I'm riding by myself. And so I, you know, come back, loop back down to the group. My favorite part about my job is opening people's eyes, okay? Most everyone, they get stuck in a rut riding. They go to the Bighorns, they go up to the same hill that they always climb. Then you go over, you do your powder turns in the meadow that you always go to, and then you go through the other trees, and then you go up to the other hill that you always climb, and then you do a left-hand side hill all the way back to the truck because you don't really like side hilling on the right-hand side. He knows. So that's what happens, is that we get comfortable with the way we ride. And so when you come to ride with us, we're there to show you that there's a whole nother riding out there that you never knew existed. There's a whole other set of terrain that you can access that no one ever goes. And you know, our biggest thing is most people ride way too fast, they're out of control, and they don't have the confidence in doing the things that you need to do to handle any situation. So this is the fun part. So we do 3 days, and everyone's like, I'm coming down there to only ride 3 days. I'm like, trust me, 3 days is where you need to be. No, I'm going to ride 4, or I'm going to ride 5. I'm like, you're not. You're going to ride 3 days with me. Okay, fine. First day, lot like we talked about. First day is like, oh my gosh, I thought I knew how to ride a snowmobile. That we get that answer a lot. So first day, we're fixing a lot of bad habits, telling people to slow down. Get in control. Look where you want to go. Get a finger on the brake. You know, we're telling them all these things at once, and it's a mess the first day. It's a fun mess, but it's a mess. Second day, you really start figuring out those things that we talked about and we're working on the first day. You know, you're starting to get the feel of when the sled wants to be on edge, where your foot needs to be on the running board. You're looking farther ahead. You're being more aggressive with the throttle, but in control. You're really starting to figure it out. And day three is magic. Day 3, you're looking at stuff that you would have never in a million years thought you could do, and you're doing it with confidence. And it truly is an amazing experience, and the favorite part about my job is watching what people can do on day 3. The problem with day 3 is, day 3 at 3:30, the wheels start to come off the bus a little bit. Because remember when you said you wanted to ride 4 days? Well, we've only ridden 2.5, and you can barely hold on to your snowmobile right now. So we've had some rodeos on day 3 at about 4 o'clock. You mentally know what you need to do, but physically you're like, get me the heck home. That's what you're saying. So that's why we do 3 days. But we have an incredible time, and you'll learn a lot. And to see, you know, you guys get to watch all the videos and YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff, and you're like, man, that looks cool. You should see it in person. It's a lot different, and it's pretty crazy. Thanks, Chris. Yep, go ahead. Oh, that's a good one. So he asked, do we do rides for the wife? So I got a really simple answer for this. We do a ladies ride, and we do it's combined to a couples ride. We market it as a couples ride. And the first and most important thing is we separate you two, okay? You might tell her the same exact thing that I'm saying, but it's coming from you and not me, okay? So they'll listen to me. So yes, we do a ladies ride. It's been really cool. We love having the women involved because, again, it's not that you have to muscle these sleds around. All we have to do is teach you the right technique to tell the sled what to do. So we have a lot of fun doing the ladies ride. This will be our 3rd year doing it. You can check out the information on our website of the couples ride. Good question. What else? Ooh, that's a good question. What do I ride, a turbo or a non-turbo? Depends how mouthy the guy is before we go ride, you know? And actually, you know what my favorite thing to do is? We'll have a group show up with all turbos. And they show up for the first day, and I pick my sled for the day, and I pick a stalker. And they're like, why are you bringing your stock sled? Well, I'm going to show you that you need to learn how to ride first before you're ready to really make your turbo do the things that it can do. You know, I love riding a turbo sled. In Colorado, at 12,000 feet, a stock snowmobile has about 112 horsepower. That's what it has. A person has about 4 horsepower because you can't breathe at 12,000 feet. So the whole reason that I ride a turbo is to get my sled back up to the power that it needs to be at elevation. That's the whole point of a turbo. And they're violent. Oh, they're so much fun. I love, you know, doing wheelies, and you know, the turbo has forced me to take my riding to another level because the sled could do things previously that I didn't even think were possible, and so to ride a turbo sled is a lot of fun. However, you will become a better rider by mastering a stock snowmobile, because then once you're ready to graduate up to a turbo, then you can actually make a turbo do what a turbo can do. And my favorite part about riding a stalker is I know what a turbo will do and where it'll go, and I am so dang determined to get that stock sled up there that you just have to be smarter. You have to read the terrain. You have to carry more momentum. You can't make mistakes because you get punished more. You can't rely on the power. That's what makes you a better rider, is riding a stock sled, and then you're ready for the turbo. That was a great question. What else, guys? Huh? How do you start practicing the hop over? Man, I get a lot of questions about this. We need to work on side hilling on the right-hand side first. The hop over is a crazy move. I'll tell you what, if you guys go to BurandtTV.com, Burandt TV is, let me tell you what Burandt TV is. How many of you guys like the schooled videos and 509 Sledneck videos? You guys all love the videos, right? Oh yeah, videos are awesome. Here's what became frustrating with the videos, is we shoot for a video all year long to give you a 45-minute video, 45 minutes that you watch a couple times, and then it sits behind the DVD player, and that's it. And then you wait a whole nother year to get another DVD. Well, it took 4,500 minutes of footage to make that 45-minute video, and we had nothing to do with that footage. So what Burandt TV is we have riding tips and tech tips, webisodes, product reviews, product install videos, all online that you can access 24/7 with your phone, computer, tablet, or whatever. And we release new content every 3 weeks, all year long. So you get new content and new videos. And like right now, we have 150 videos up on the site right now. And it's $3.99 a month. So the DVD just got frustrating for me. What was the original question? Oh yeah, hop over. Yeah, hop over. So on Burandt TV, I've got 4 different riding tip videos breaking down the hop over step by step. So you can actually watch it in slow motion as I'm talking about it, figuring out how to do it. And I've got 4 different videos on 4 different hop overs describing what is going on with the sled. So that's what's fun about Burandt TV, is that, you know, it's pretty cool. I just watch footage and I'm like, oh, let's talk about that. And then we make a webisode about it. So it's pretty cool. It's easy to use. You can use it on your phone. It's an excuse. It looks like you're working at work because you're on the computer, but you're actually watching Burandt TV. Jamie, guilty. So it works out really good. Good question. hop over, it's hard. You got to do about 12 things at once. So you guys all know Sayan, he worked for me for 7 years. Sayan went on to do his own thing this year, but Sayan rode with me almost every day for 7 years, and I've seen that dude do like 2 hopovers, and I think one was on accident. So it's just a hard move. Yeah. What else? Ooh. That's a really good question. So guys, the question was, with how good the Axis is, if there was any mods you would do, what would you do? That's a really good question. It's amazing with how good it is. There's still some things we can do. The biggest one, and this is very unfortunate, is with the strict emissions for both sound and regular emissions. The silencer on this snowmobile is big. It's heavy. It's 17 pounds actually. So this sled is still 408 pounds with a 17-pound silencer. I love how quiet it is though. We got to have our sleds quiet for all the places we're riding. People keep trying to shut us down, so let's not give them another excuse to keep wanting to shut us down. So there's a few manufacturers out there that are making nice, lightweight silencers that are still quiet. SLP is one, Skins is one. Those are the 2 companies that I use for the most part. I'm going to do some testing on a Bikeman one that works pretty well. But with the SLP, you can do just a silencer, lose 10 pounds, and all of a sudden you have a sled under 400 pounds for $299. So that's a really good upgrade. I'm a big suspension freak. I love my Fox shocks, and they're not just something that look cool. They really work well. You know, these sleds are built for the masses, and my riding and what I do is not the masses. So I'm really able to kind of cater my sled to the type of riding I do with the suspension. So I would say suspension, and then the lightweight can, and then just ride the dang thing. It's really good. Well guys, I'm going to be here all night. I've got a bunch of autograph stock here to just come by. For all those people who are scared to ask a question in front of everybody else, you can come back over here and ask me over here. And thanks again for having me. This is awesome up here. Thanks.
Chris, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
So I just want to make everyone aware that at 8 o'clock we're going to have our drawings for prizes. We have our 8:30 snowmobile blow up. If you haven't yet been able to get your square purchased for $500 over there, the girls are still taking, I think there's some more. We got more squares left? All right, so that snowmobile blow up will be taking place at 8:30. So again, we appreciate you coming out, and hopefully you can stick around. Chris will be here if you haven't got a signed autograph. He will be here to do that. So thank you.
One more thing.
Hey guys, sorry, one more thing. This is a really important one. So, any of
You guys involved with your local snowmobile club? Cool. Everybody's hand should be up. And the reason I say that is because, well, you might tell me, well, we don't ride here. Well, your local club supports everybody. So when we have a closure in Colorado, a closure in Wyoming, and a closure in Idaho, the South Dakota club and everybody's club donate to help keep our riding areas open. It's $20. It's $20. You're not doing the work. Someone else is doing the work. Support your local club. Give them the $20, and that way we can keep all of our riding open. Okay? Do it.
There's also food in the back. If you haven't been back there yet, go through the service entrance into the service drive. There's gals back there serving up some pulled pork sandwiches, and there's also beverages for adults and kids. So enjoy yourselves. Thank you.